For the past 2 years, I've been trying to find a serious alternative to Google Drive, and I finally found it after testing a lot of different tools. I tested the most obvious one, which is Nextcloud. I think this is what most people use when they want to go open source and less dependent on Google and big tech. But there was a lot of things I didn't like about Nextcloud, so I continued my search. I've been trying file browser, Cloudreeve, and SyncThing, and most of the tools, they do some of the things right, but not any of them did everything right for me. Until now, I found Seafile and OnlyOffice combination of two tools. This is what I have right in front of me. And I'll give you a quick tour so you can see whether this is something that you think that you can use. But basically, Seafile is the file storage solution. It's a cloud and file synchronization cloud drive. And then when combined with OnlyOffice, then you get the full Office Suite integration that makes it feel a little bit like Google Drive, where you can just open up your Excel, your Word documents, and your PowerPoints directly in the browser from your drive. Of course, it works on all devices, so Android, iOS, Mac, Windows. You can see here I have on my Windows operating system my Seafile drive right here. So these are the same files I had in the web browser just before. They stay in sync all the time. This one is OnlyOffice, and this is the PowerPoint edition for that. I created a few slides here. I'm not very good at PowerPoint because that's not something I normally do in my line of work. But just to list a few features here, OnlyOffice, it supports all kind of file types, so you won't run into compatibility issues when your colleagues or clients, they use Microsoft. It just works. It's very modern user interface, as I think this demonstrates very well. It has all the features that you'd expect. And even the real-time collaboration works very well. I'll show you that in a second. It's open source, just like Seafile, so you can self-host it, and I will show you how you can self-host it and try both out for free later in the video, so stick around. And most surprisingly to me is that it is already fully AI ready. So it has a tab here, and that's true for all the different Office types. So this is the PowerPoint, and it has an AI tab right here. And it's not connected with any AI services because you have to connect it with an AI service yourself of your choice. So if you want to go fully AI off-grid, maybe you are a freelancer or a company that work on the very strict privacy, non-disclosure agreements, then I believe this must be one of the only ways that you can go use AI in your tools without sharing any data with a company. So with Microsoft, you use Copilot, and with Google, you use Gemini, and not all clients will accept their data being processed by Microsoft and Google. But with this, you could technically run a local element on your own hardware if you have the hardware. It requires a pretty beefy GPU, I believe. But then you could connect it to that, and you will have all the AI LLM capabilities in your Office suite 100% off-grid. You can turn off the internet and it would still work. I didn't set that up myself because I don't use the Office tools enough to even integrate any AI, but just to know that it is AI ready, which is pretty insane for open source free tool. All right, let's do a quick tour of the user interface of Seafile. It does all the things that you would expect. It has file upload, download, and you can create share links. So I have only my own user here, but you can also invite family members. There is a whole system for sharing libraries between users, but you can also just generate links and do password protection. And let's actually do a little demonstration. So I have this one here. It's a game math, and I'll do a share link over to an incognito browser. So we have two users in at the same time, like this. You can add expiration if you want that. I don't need it. And this one is for the web editor, and this one is a direct download link. So I'll be using this one, and I'll open a new incognito. Go here. And then we need the password. It is this one here. Let's do side by side. And now we are in here, and now we are also in here. So this one I'll be calling guest. Maybe zoom out a little bit now that we have two side by side. So you see we are inside the document, two people at the same time. Let me just change something here. 1, 2, 3. And when I hit enter, you'll see that it will update over here. It says it's from admin. And we also have a chat room here. So, hey, what are you doing? Says the guest user, because he didn't expect the admin to be editing. And we'll see here now we have a chat right here. Also comments. I think you get the point. It is very modern user interface. It has all the features that I would expect. Even the charts renders pretty nicely. I'll close down this incognito, and then I will show you also the offline file editor. So OnlyOffice also has very nice desktop application for most operating systems. So this one is for Windows because I'm on Windows, and I've already integrated it with my Seafile. So I see my Seafile cloud, which is my own private cloud. No one else have access to this. Is right here integrated in my OnlyOffice desktop editor, so I can open up the same file that we had just before. That was the game math, and we'll see here this one would also work offline. So you can also edit files offline with OnlyOffice. It does that very well. All right, so I think I've shown all the most important key features. So I'll get right ahead with the tutorial so you can try it out for yourself, as I promised. I have written a little blog post over here, and I'll make sure to make a link for that in the video description. Here I also go more into depth with all the different kind of tools I tested before I settled on this one. So if you want to read about the shortcomings of the other tools I tested, that is also here. And a little bit more information on Seafile and OnlyOffice. But let's just go right to the deploy section right here. I set it up on Railway. This is where it is running for me right now. It will look something like this when you're done. It has the Seafile, it's a Docker image, and then it has OnlyOffice, also a Docker image, and then Seafile needs a little database and this little memory thing. I will show you how the launch process is. It is very simple, and all you need is a Railway user, and actually you can get away with the free user because this project only uses 4 service, so that is enough for the trial user. If you want it to keep running once your trial credit runs out, then you'll have to start paying some hosting. It's not very expensive, about $10 per month. But let's just go ahead and deploy it. So you'll hit the deploy button right here. And I am logged in, but if you don't have a Railway user, you need to sign up first. You can sign up with GitHub. If you have a GitHub user, I recommend doing that. But then once you are in and you see the deploy button here, you can click it. And then there is a little bit of setup that we can do. We don't have to do anything, but I'll just show you the only thing that could make sense to change. And that is the configuration for Seafile. So I'll just expand all the things here. There is one here, and that is the admin email. So if you want to use your own email address as the admin email, you could change that right here. You can also change the admin password, but this right here just auto generates a strong password, and you'll have access to the passwords afterwards. So you don't need to do that. And finally, if you are an advanced user and know what an SMTP server is, and you have access to one, and you want emailing capabilities, this includes reset password link for Seafile. Then you can set up a SMTP server as well. So all the fields that start with SMTP, you'll see right here, you'll have to fill them in, but I won't go into details for everyone how to set this up because it is quite technical. And if you don't know how SMTP works, it would be a very long video to explain all of that. I'm just showing you this so you know that it is possible to get emailing capabilities. All right, I'll just leave everything as is. I'm not setting up any emailing service, so I'll just click save right here and leave the admin email as is, and then I'll hit deploy. And this will take about between 2 and 5 minutes. I'll just pause the video and then I will be back once it is deployed. All right, I think this took about 3 minutes to deploy, so not so painful. And now we have everything that we need right here. You don't need to access any of the 3 other services. The entry point is Seafile, and your URL to your web application is right here. That's where you access everything. You're gonna need, let me just close down my own server right here. You're gonna need the email and the password. If you didn't define it yourself, you find them in the variables. So the admin email right here, I'll copy it to clipboard, and then let's just log in. So I open this one in a new tab. And we are ready right here. Paste in the email and the password, get it here. And now we are logged into our fully fresh Seafile cloud storage. All right, I'm gonna show you also how you connect to the offline applications. So if I zoom in a little bit, you'll see down here it says clients. That's where you find the offline client for your operating system. Go to the official download page. And so the drive that I was using, the one I showed earlier in the video, I'll just drag it back into the main view right here. So this one that is just like a virtual drive in your Windows file system, that is the Drive clients. So I don't think there's any reason to download any of these. I would go with the Drive client, and once we install the OnlyOffice desktop app, then we will also see that we get the full user interface offline experience as well right here. And that's why I don't think we need this desktop syncing client. So I use the Drive one. This is the one. I'll just show you how to install it and set it all up. So give me 1 second to uninstall the current one, and then I'll show you how to set it up. All right, so I just uninstalled both applications. You see it is now gone from my Windows, but it is very easy to install again. This is the C drive. Just click next, next, and install. And this doesn't take long. Then we need to set up with our server. So I'll just go back here and get our server URL. This is our server URL, back into this one. Finish the installation, and then we can choose this root folder. This is fine for me. Server, paste it in. Username, again, that is the email and password that you defined or did not define during the deploy. So I'll just copy them from Railway over here. And the password. That's pretty much it. Then we click login. And yeah, it looks like it remembered my admin user from before. So now I'm admin 1. That's fine. Run in the background, and then we open the Windows file system here, and we see we now have the new one, which doesn't have any files like I did before because it's the fresh one. All right, let's go ahead and also do the OnlyOffice desktop app installation and connect it. I already downloaded it, but I'll show you where you can find it. It's called OnlyOffice Desktop Editors. So you go to this link right here, and just like Seafile, this is pretty much compatible with all the operating systems. So Windows, even old versions of Windows, Mac OS, and all kinds of different Linux distributions as well. Pretty impressive. Lots of different builds, but we are going with this one here. That is Windows 11. That's the one I already downloaded. So I'll just go back here to my download folder and install it. And then I'll show you how to set it up, because it also needs to connect to Seafile. Click next, desktop icon, fine. All associated files, yes. This is also a good indication that you can see all these different file formats. That is what it supports, and they are all the most common ones, like the modern Microsoft Office package and all that. Install. And we'll just launch it. And now we can already start opening files on our drive, but I want to connect directly to our cloud. So I'll hit this button, and you can see the different cloud integrations that it supports, and it has Seafile right here. So we again need our URL and connect. And the same again, email and password. And now we have the Seafile connected. So I can open my drive and I can start creating a new document right here. Test. Yeah. Open it. And we now have the editor also in offline mode. So what does this actually cost to run? It is open source, it is license free, but we are using someone else's cloud infrastructure. Obviously, they use electricity, hardware, and we need to pay for that. So this is my own personal production setup of Seafile, and I have adjusted the resource use a little bit. I'll show you what you can tweak it to. So go to the settings of each of the different services. I scroll down, and the Seafile instance is using 2 CPU cores and 2 gigabytes of memory. That have been enough for my testing. OnlyOffice also requires a little bit of hardware, so I've set that to 2 CPU cores and 4 gigabyte of RAM. Again, I haven't had any issues with that. The memcached little memory instance here, it requires almost nothing. So this was recommended for me to set it to half a CPU core, and even less should be fine, 256, but Railway doesn't let you do that. So half a gigabyte of RAM here is what I set for that. Again, haven't had any issues. MySQL also doesn't need a lot. It's just a little database. There's not a lot of rewrite going back and forth at the same time. Maybe if you have a lot of users and writing to a lot of documents, maybe this wouldn't be enough, but for personal use, 2 CPU cores and 2 gigabytes RAM is more than enough. If we go over to the usage tab right here, we can see that I've been using $2 so far this month, and the estimated cost is around $12 for the full month of use. Most of it is memory. So if you want to, you could also set the memory even lower to try to cut costs even more, but then you might experience that the application starts to perform worse. Another thing that you could do is to turn on serverless. So let's see where this is right here. So all of the instances you can turn on serverless, and that means that when you don't use the application for a while, they will go into some sort of hibernation mode. That also means that they are not immediately available when you need them. But let's say you go on vacation for a week and you are not going to be using your cloud file system and Office suite, then it's quite nice that it all just hibernates on its own and you don't pay any usage cost, barely any. You do pay a little bit of the disk space use, but there's no RAM and no CPU usage while you're gone. When you want to use it, you don't have to go back here and turn it on. You just access the application, and then within a minute or so, it spins up again and then becomes available. So you can also turn on serverless. Then your application is not always available. You'll have to wait about a minute, but it doesn't use any resources once it's in hibernation mode. So that's another great way of reducing cost. I like to have it always on because I think $12 is fine. I don't mind paying that, and I don't like to wait 1 minute every time I need to access my tools. I want it just to work straight away. All right, that's going to conclude the cost and resource usage for this stack. I'm curious to hear what you think about Seafile and OnlyOffice. Is that something that you would actually use to replace Google Drive or Dropbox, iCloud, or any of the Microsoft services that you're using? I certainly will. I'll be using this already, changed my personal Google Drive into this and shared it also with my girlfriend. So she's also using it now. And yeah, we haven't had any issues with it so far. Also cross device with iPhone, Android, Windows computers have been seamless so far. If you're into digital independence and alternative software, then you might want to check out this here. It's a project that I'm currently building on, and it is also a stack that uses Seafile and OnlyOffice to replace some of the everyday tools. It also includes image. Image is something I've been using for about a year now. It's a replacement for Google Photos, and it is fantastic. I really recommend trying that out. But this stack here also comes with more than that. So a privately hosted password manager, a private calendar service that just integrates into your normal iPhone calendar app. So no new app interfaces. Very nice PDF tool and a nice dashboard. This is very much beta. It's not ready for production yet, but you might want to check it out, and you could subscribe to the newsletter if you want to be updated once this go on a real public release. All right, thank you very much for watching. I hope that this helped you. And that's going to be all for now. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.